Show us your decks. Morning, people. This is probably going to be videoed in a couple of different parts. I'm just sort of snatching time when I get it. Just going to dive in because that's how I prefer it. This is a tarot tag. I'll get to that later. So the first prompt is a deck you want to use, but for whatever reason haven't seen any playtime on your desk. Hush Tarot for me. It has seen playtime. I have played with it. I've loved looking at the art, and it just, as a tarot deck, still doesn't have a really secure place in my processes. Does that make sense? I did muck around with it the other day while I was doing some expressive writing stuff, and just kind of kept randomly flicking out a card because the topic that I was writing about kind of felt like this energy, and that it was pretty good for that. I'm just not sure about it as a tarot. How does everyone else use this? Like, do you have a specific, like topic that you use? Is it a daily reader? Anyone else have trouble with it? At least for me, the titles on the card are pretty unobtrusive, so I can potentially just use it as an intuitive oracle type inspiration deck, because even some of the associations just don't work for me either, the tarot associations. So it's not going anywhere. I adore the art. I don't live in this energy, but I do visit it. So if anyone's got any additional comments on that, I've got to say I've been loving all the comments. You people are gorgeous. Thank you so much. It's been really lovely to read what you've got to say. I appreciate it. So that's prompt 1. Prompt 2, the 12th deck from the right on your tarot shelf. This groovy little fronster. Chris Ann's The Tarot of Curious Creatures. You can't miss the Rider-Waite-Smith associations on these cards, even if you tried, I don't think. So it's a quick, easy reader. It's fun, but it's also serious, and I've had, some very powerful reads. Powerful is probably not the right word, but definitely, I would say mature, and I would say insightful. And I've been able to take it seriously when I've read with it. It's done me good. So I love it. I actually quite enjoy all of Chris Ann's decks. I don't love the cardstock, to be true, but I don't want to be too serious too often. Okay, so that's prompt 2. Prompt 3 is a tricky one for me. A deck you're thinking about rehoming, because I don't actually think of rehoming anything, but it did cross my mind here. The Nova Witch Tarot by Suki Ferguson, amateur at play. The artwork's by Anna Novaes. I'm not going to rehome it, but I've thought about it briefly. I thought perhaps to a younger person with massive hands. So that's part of the reason I haven't, because they're not that common. I've trimmed it and it's still a massive deck. But I do love the artwork. And it's just quite younger, sort of adolescent, but I like the energy for it for some of the adolescent issues that come up. I work with adolescents at school as a school counsellor. My school would not welcome tarot decks to be brought into the therapeutic space, so when I go into private practice, I'm hoping to use this. It is a beautiful deck, so even though I've thought about it, I have no intention of doing it. So that's prompt 3. Number 4, a deck you don't store in its original box and why. I have many of those, but the one that I will share is my soul cards. Several reasons. Primary reason is the box is pretty crappy and flimsy and I'll destroy it. 2, I love having these cards right there, like within reach, easy access at all times. Aren't they just the most beautiful things? This is Soul Cards 1. Any thoughts on Soul Cards having both decks? Like, would I be being just greedy? Very tempted to just get the other one and be done with it. So if anyone's got thoughts on it. I kind of edged it with different colours and then hated it, and now I've sort of gone blue over the top, so I'm not terribly impressed with my efforts there, but I don't hate it either. Over time, I don't think it'll matter. So that's one of the decks that I don't store in a box, Soul Cards. A deck with more or less than 78 cards. I've got the El Goliath 2nd edition. One of the lovely, I don't know if she's a subscriber, but commenters mentioned that he's bringing out a 3rd edition, which is a smaller deck. Interested to know if the box is going to be different as well. And also interested if it's mass market, because I'd love a copy of this where I could sort of treat it a little mean and take it out into the world, whereas this one seems like a little treasure that I keep to myself. Now, this is a tarot deck of, I highly recommend, if you don't know the deck, check it out. Maybe I'll do a walkthrough. I like walkthroughs myself when I'm in total veg out mode. There'll be a walkthrough coming up of the local honey picture box. I think that's the title of the deck that quite a few people were interested in. So 78 cards, but it also has a number of oracle cards, has yes, no, and yes cards. Yeah. His artwork is just beyond compare, really. I love this one. The hidden inner strength, the shadow cat, when you look at the shadow on the tree. And this is beautiful too. Oh, the sacred fire, the rebirthing bonfire. And look at this. I mean, the karmic soul tribe. The karmic soul tribe, the family. Ooh, so beautiful. Okay. Prompt 6, a deck with a cloud on the box. This one, for me, punches well above its weight in terms of uses. I find this will chat away in terms, come on, Colleen. Mundane things going on in life, but also down into the deeper subconscious, shadow work, all of that sort of stuff. Oh my, Dan May's artwork. I've gone on about it in one of my previous collection videos, wherever it showed. I think it was not the last one. But yeah. And there's a lot of clouds inside too. It's just so beautifully melancholic and nostalgic and gentle and understanding. And I just love these critters. They're so beautiful. Okay. I could go on and on. I'm going to stop now. Okay. Prompt 7 is a deck you've never shown on your channel. Well, I've just done a full deck series, but I did hold one back. I'm sorry. It was just that it's a bit cheeky. Like, it's a bit rude. Boop. And I can't show much of it. Boop. The Decameron Tarot. I just thought it pointless. It's a bit rude, so, you know, I didn't really want to show it on YouTube. Apparently YouTube's a bit weird about stuff like that. So, yeah, the one I haven't shown is a Decameron Tarot, and now you know that about me. Number 8 is a deck with another animal besides a lion in the Strength card. And I've got Tarot of the Sheep by Emily Carding with a dragon, because I want a dragon, and I want a dragon to choose me, and I want us to be bonded, and I want us to go and kick ass in the world and have the wise eye look at me when I want to do, you know, when I'm not being kind to myself. So that's why I've chosen this one. I want a dragon. And now you know that about me too. Prompt 9, a deck that comes in a box inside another box. Tarot of the Sacred She Tarot by Ma Diva Padma. It's a beautiful box, and inside the box has another box. This is this beautiful, vibrant pink insert is cardboard, and I will destroy it if I left everything in there. And the tuck box is also quite flimsy, so I thought it best to take it out and keep it, because the deck sits quite close to me. And even if I choose to move the deck out of my most close at hand spot, I'll find a bag for it, I think. So that's number 9. Okay, so I just want to say this tarot tag, Show Us Your Decks, is from Feeding My Soul 1212, I believe. And I also believe her name is Angel, so thanks for that. I'm loving this process. A deck that would not appear in your top 10 favourites. I kind of knew it as soon as I got it. Doesn't mean it's going anywhere. Tarot of the Divine by Yoshitari. I love it. I think it's really lovely and harkens to some of the stories that the actual books that used to be at my grandmother's house that I used to, when we had sleepovers. I just think it's a really lovely little Rider-Waite Smith, when it still gives really good reads, and the added bonus of having additional research that can be done. As I mentioned in my collection video, I've got no interest even in getting all the books and all the things. Just knowing what the representation is on the card is enough for me to play around and go off and dive into either my myth books or Google. So yeah, love it. But it's not a top 10, and I'm sorry, we're still friends. I just would never, probably ever choose it to be in that kind of a list. A deck you associate with the colour green. Forest Fae by Nadia Turner. I love this little rock pool deck. And yeah, the earthy colours are just my jam. But there's always, not always, but predominantly each card has a green. And we've got Green Man and Green Maid and all in there. So I really love this artist. I'm wondering if she's done any other work, and if it's been to this caliber. I don't really want to just get decks just by artists just because they've done them. I really only want ones that have a place and sing, and not just a you know, like, I don't know how to say it nicely, sort of one of those attempts just to build a business around tarot and oracle. I actually just want something like this that really works for me. All right, we're going to pause there. I'll be back after work and I'll finish off then. Have a great day. Bye. Okay, so not the next day, not the same day, sorry, not the next day, several days later. Life just keeps lifing. We are up to Number 12, a second-hand, pre-loved, pre-owned, thrifted deck. So I've gone with the Mythic Tarot by Juliette Sharman-Burke. I bought this on Marketplace? No, that's a lie. eBay. Just because I'm really curious about mythology and learning more, and so I did have it in order, but have since stuffed that up. So I plan to put it back in order my way. I know that this deck, she's placed the High Priestess further down the line, I think behind the Emperor, which doesn't make sense to me, but whatevs. I'm going to do what I'm going to do. I also found the Mythic Tarot workbook in a second-hand store, untouched, but I may use it to read a little bit more, but this, for whatever reason, doesn't sing to me to do as a workbook. So, I mean, that might be something that I'd be happy to pass on if anyone is ever interested. I don't know how that would take place. Plus, it came with, and I'm doing this for you guys, even though you didn't ask me to, this cloth, I can't bear to touch it. I will never work with it. It is, it came with it. I have a few tactile issues with certain materials, synthetic materials, and can't bear to touch it, so it's going, unless someone like screams their hands to the roof and says me. Let me know if you're interested in it, but otherwise it just has to, can't even bear to have it in the house. It affects me so much. Number 13, a deck in your collection with the most used guidebook. I'm pretty sure Phantasmagoria has been featured. But for me, this year specifically, the Dreamkeeper's Tarot has definitely, I was going to say possibly, but definitely been the one that I relied most heavily on. I had a few rough months, and I relied on this deck daily, and I just feel that Liz Huston is a wise woman, a mature woman, and an intelligent one who guided me daily, and it was an anchor point for me daily, facing sort of more, interactions with the world. And for that, I am so very grateful. And I think I mentioned in my collection videos, when I initially opened this deck, I was sort of unsure if I'd made a wrong choice, but now those doubts are well gone. I definitely rate this deck in highly, don't know what number I'd place it. Be really shit at doing a list like that, but yeah. So this guidebook, it just really, for me, maybe 3 cards, but often just a daily draw. Highly recommend, especially if you're having drama around maybe work issues or social politics. I got a lot out of it. Okay, the next one is a deck with water on the box. So another one for the guidebook. Elemental Power Tarot, Melinda Lee Home. Water. Yeah. I also love this deck for the guidebook. The pips in the minor arcana do really nothing for me except give me a jumping off point to jump into the guidebook. That's all they do. And I've often thought of trying to find a way to personalize it. There's a smell to this deck that sends me reeling back to the 70s. I think it's the printer's ink that my beloved prep teacher used to print off worksheets. Worksheets were exciting to me. Always been a bit of a nerd. Yeah, it's got water. It represents water throughout. I love the excuse me, major arcana representations. Mine are not so much, but let's have a little read, okay? So let's go with this one, the Eight of Wands. Just so you get an idea of what I mean. Longevity in elemental fire. You're hitting your stride and beginning to settle into a pace that you can carry on for the long haul without burning out. External pursuits like collaborative problem solving and pursuing goals are well supported now, as are more internal manifestations of this element, such as creative vision and honing instincts. Allow your priorities and projects to unfold naturally while maintaining awareness of overexertion. The sprint is over. This is the marathon. Challenge. Avoiding exhaustion in the realm of fire requires constant vigilance and excellent boundaries. Live each day and week as if you'll have to repeat it for a full year or even decade. Set your work-life balance with care and guard it fiercely. That is exactly why I love this deck so very much. And there's water on the box. Oh, so the next one, the final one. A deck with your most favourite card ever and why. Oh, man. Give me a minute. I think I need to do a tarot tag of favourite card in every deck you own. Oh. Now, this is surprising me as much as it would possibly surprise others and maybe even annoy others who know who've seen the other decks that I have, but it comes from here and I'll explain why. There's two actually. Now, if you can't tell, you probably can't. I've paused for quite some time and had big thinks over this, and some of the cards that came to mind I feel are just a little too personal to explain why. So, not to scrimp either, I have chosen one in particular, which I might have mentioned. So the Tarot of the Abyss by Anaturian, we've got a strange relationship, still working on it. I love this card, okay? I think she absolutely nailed that lion. I love the look on the woman's face. I love the connection. I think it's just so beautifully done. And it struck me as soon as I found it. The card though that I chose was this bitch. I'm not sure if I mentioned, I probably did, but for whatever reason, this card jumps. When I use this deck, this is my jumper quite often appears in the reads, and I really appreciate it. Now I have used the words motherfucker quite a few times, like leave me alone, all those kind of things, but I feel like perhaps this is my Five of Pentacles deck where I get to work through some of these energies. There's a lot of in this. So are they going away, or are they, there's just so many things in here for this mindset around Five of Pentacles, particularly the victim mindset, all sorts of things for me. So this is a good working card. There's some deep work to be done with it. And so for that, even though some days I'm not in the mood, and it may well be part of the reason why I haven't played with this deck so much, because I'm just not in the mood for it, so whatever. But again, I think her artwork is really quite beautiful. Some of it is just right bang on point, but for whatever reason we're not super best friends. but I feel like there's a lot of work for me. So there, that's my first tarot tag. I hope I did the right thing. I hope I mentioned who's the initial. Hang on. Yeah, Feeding My Soul, 1212. I think it's Angel. All right. So I hope you're well. Thank you to all you groovy funsters who have subscribed and commented and stuff. I'm really, really appreciating. Sorry it's taken me a little while to get my next contribution to the YouTube land up, but as I said, life keeps lifing. I'm neck deep in an essay again, so that's part of the reason. Take good care, folks. Bye.